Welcome to UEOM Universe Internet Church, September 29, 2024, Episode 11. What is the indisputable derivation of the metaphysical truth that is said to produce the commonwealth of human life support? Answer: the indisputable derivation, that is, the self-regenerating patterning integrity of synergy energy systems, logically derives from universe's eternally conserved energy, correlating to an eternal-temporal design function between metaphysical synergetic mind, its individual human brain cerebral circuits, and consciousness evolution's omnirational informed awareness of generalized law environments. Generalized law environments that support human life are essential knowledge to a self-governing system's omnirational commonwealth considerations. Naturally, human awareness everywhere on Earth requires knowledge of universe's self-regenerating structural integrity of the system's chemical elements, evaluation, correlating with eventually realizing the atoms that, for the most part, are ignored by the PRJW, politics, religion, justice, war, governing systems. This could explain the gaslighting and other redirected blaming that does not generalize concepts to the metaphysical environment as the physical atoms and other particles, while subconsciously and destructively using weapons for the punitive mentality, vengeful instigation. The atoms, electrons, and other subatomic particles in physical universe instead could be informing our consciously anticipatory design science realities of a cosmic accounting system, which may be used when integration of all complex interactions do not require weaponization of atoms, electrons, and other subatomic particles. This would be a totally different commonwealth product for supporting human life, a different accounting system. The very idea of the most economical way systems can behave relative to unity and self in universe would be potentially relevant to every consideration when all the governing systems admit the truths of its lifetime responsibilities must always be for every succeeding generation. Naturally, this suggests starting with metaphysical and physical universe and the first subdivision of it, while consciously knowledgeable of the generalizations of generalizations. The generalizations of generalizations conceptioning is relatively new for research writers who have only recently learned of the acronym TLBSWME: truth, love, beauty, symmetry, wisdom, maximum economy. Once apprised, thus, evolving conscionable awareness becomes a relevant encompassing contextual parameter, especially when consciously focused. Discerning curiosity readily anticipates these interacting, interrelating phenomena as essential integrals of its own humanity. Synergetics 10 by 4.60 orbit as normal. Through Synergetics 1056, cosmic hierarchy of comprehensively embracing generalizations can be explored. There is every logical reason to suppose that accurately identified cognition and recognition of regenerating events can refer synergetic mind's consciousness evolution to universe when processing every potential degree of relevance as it pertains to systemic thought. Such rational thought is not also irrational, as the PRJW gem governing systems historically and most definitely is. Therefore, a mind can be consciously aware not only that systems always alter other systems, that experience always comes before thinking, and the most comprehensive generalization has U equal MP, standing for an eternally regenerative universe of metaphysical, M, and physical, P, permitting further subgeneralizations, with examples of this potential shown in Synergetics 162. An atom is the smallest particle of a chemical element. In every special case, the atom consists of a positively charged nucleus. Negatively charged electrons surround the atom. The subatomic particles that are occurring in all atomic nuclei, the electrons, protons, neutrons, neutrinos, antineutrinos, and positrons, are always environmentally in universe, albeit not visible. Precisely how these particles eventually relate to a human systemic thought with respect to anticipatory design science realities as three energy events of two tripartite teams. The actions, reactions, resultants remain to be seen. But intuition's reasonable suspicion is that such relevance may hold clues to solving the relative insanity problems of human behavior across the spectrum of manifesting delusional realities to the most desperate extremes, when absolutely no knowledge of such possibilities seems to be under closest scrutiny by the science-minded curiosities that apparently and logically connect to the human imagination's inherent ability to formulate conceptually. Such formulations are influentially controlled by the inventive movie and video entertainment industries that incite emulative tendencies as but another ramifying detriment that has taken on a mind of disproportionate dimensions as more productions of this highly profitable industry become an essential tool for image making, regardless of the increasing distances from omnirational thought as irrational mindlessness supersedes it. Synergetic geometry and topology, on the contrary, provides a conceptual tripartite teams open event that is male and the internal angles are female, shown in Synergetics figure 935.23. Is it possible to get back to basics and the omnicomprehensive purpose in forming a more perfect union, albeit when initiated before such generalized conceptioning entered the anticipatory mind of the earlier conceivers of the unity concept? Does informed awareness of this indicate 2-3 vector teams can be identified as the male-female interrelating integral angles and frequencies are technically and literally cooperating positive and negative interactions at the most generalized, least complicated regenerating field of energy? If so, this may be of such evolutionary relevance to human life support that awareness of it ought to be in education systems prioritize geometric and geodesic relevance, since anticipatory reality will always be a foregone conclusion anyway. But it is not always referential to the education process when omitted from educating institutions and self-inaugurated education, thereby not introducing and inducing metaphysical generalized conceptioning field of thought to discover it. See Synergetics 511, Energy Event and Synergetics. And Synergetics, figure 511.10, two triangular energy events make tetrahedron. Figure 935.23, proton and neutron 3 vector teams. That which is fundamentally essential to producing the commonwealth of human life support is non-contradictory to the developmental realization of its metaphysical conceptual discoveries. It ought to be expected from education systems that conceptioning is metaphysical. How otherwise is anyone on earth to cogitate reliably in respect to equilibrium when never informed that equilibrium is metaphysical and disequilibrium is physical? Synergetics 326.40, Metaphysical and Physical Summary. That generalization is metaphysical is a synergetic mind function, and so too is the design of our evolution species endowed with this propensity, correlating to awareness of theoretical and applied science. Each of us is an individual designed to evolve the awareness that corresponds with human consciousness evolving beyond the collective unconscious and subconscious stalemate that evidently is perpetuated by clinging to the PRJW, denying metaphysical intellect as a function of omnirational universe. Such denial inspired writing the acronym PRJWBCHM, politics, religion, justice, war, belief, complex, hierarchical matrix, for the least complicated awareness of this contextual parameter for 21st century's referential curiosities. Our humanities' 21st century's referential curiosities concern questions and answers, problems and solutions about what is going on all around us, and that seems to constitute the irrational reenacting articulations with no end in sight. Our innate intelligence intuits such a human condition that perpetuates criminal activity, political corruption, the weaponization of the governing system, the impulsive need to escape the frustration of it, resorting to distracting excitement that is further enhanced by powerful drugs that fuel the criminal economies to suppress the underlying causes all the more, cannot be what we are designed to tolerate to any degree of realizable hope that things will improve for our subsequent generations. It is for our subsequent generations that this 21st century generation produces the commonwealth of human life support, hoping each time to reduce the tolerance magnitudes of the residual inaccuracies of observation and articulation that now includes informed awareness of our anatomy cells that contain mitochondria, where electron recycling restores essential energy without which our essential functions cannot be experienced correlatively to a purposeful coexistence, all of whom can be said to be individually a design of universe eternal omniscient mind. The metaphysical truth that produces the commonwealth of human life support is the wealth in common that naturally derives from the constant relative abundance that in principle is everywhere the same, isotropic. Isotropic means everywhere the same. It is everywhere the same length of a time per each vector in the isotropic vector matrix. The conceptuality can be independent of each vector's same length equidistantly between centers of equiradius spheres. The conceptuality of such a field of energy is a metaphysical function that fundamentally derives from awareness, a minimum of 12 around one nuclear sphere. As imaginably, the spheres are closest packed, that when conceptualized are not physical time-size weighable as the physical phenomena were before synergetic mind abstracts the pattern from the physical environment, taking it to the metaphysical environment correlatively to one's human imagination's ability to formulate conceptually independently of time size. This imagined phenomenon can come to zero, not the conceptuality. Imaginably, the isotropic vector matrix, universe's cosmic hierarchy's operational field complex, is metaphysical, independent of its potential size, whatever that physical size might be. The vectors can also be the size of a zeptosecond, and still, the vector's mass times velocity equals zero. When precisely does the human imagination decide the size subsequent to awareness of the acronym UIVMOFCH, Universe Isotropic Vector Matrix Operational Field Cosmic Hierarchy, when wondering about zero pulsation in the vector equilibrium? That is said to be the closest approach to eternity in God, in parentheses, EOM, that humans will ever know. As well, where and when among the various polyhedrons in the cosmic hierarchy are the vector equilibrium's tetravolumes effectively relevant to anticipatory design science omnirational realities, as the nuclear centered convergently divergently intertransformable systems spheres naturally become spaces, and the spaces become spheres. Humans of a mind, our intelligently evolving species, may have great referential need for such an economical field, correlating to and corresponding with clarifying the nucleus in principle. Experiential experimental exploring awareness of this isotropic vector matrix, illustrated in Synergetics color plate number 9, provides a description of the polyhedrons, their names, the number of tetravolumes, and quanta modules. The quanta modules are energy units, such as 1 quantum of energy, describing one tetrahedron that consists of 24 quantum modules. So, naturally, curiosity wonders about its individual imagination's ability to conceptually formulate, but now with these polyhedrons becoming relevant to the individual's anticipatory design science cosmic accounting. Imaginably, this seems absolutely relevant to potential awareness of consciousness evolution systemic thought and integral behavior values as the most economic way systems can behave relative to unity and self in universe. It would be illogical to omit the individual's conceptual reasoning and systemic thoughts coexisting awareness of omnitriangulated stability, integrally to cooperatively constituting consciousness evolution correlating to imagining zero pulsation in the vector equilibrium and the metaphysical truth that produces the commonwealth of human life support. Doing so naturally requires physical energy for the synergetic mind's consciousness evolution's informed awareness to conceptualize independent of the size, the energy that is eternally conserved, an energy resource that is neither created nor ever lost in universe. Constant relative abundance of the human life support energy that constitutes the commonwealth produced by metaphysical truth can be communicated in TUCP, the universal communications process, by metaphysical intellect synergetic mind subsequent to what it is learning. It is reasonable to suppose, therefore, that the truth of an energy system's integral geodesics describes the topological lines that interrelate the interdistances between their regenerating centers. While humans on planet Earth, who naturally are born ignorant in the natural environment, then our education ought to coincide with the potential consciousness evolution's informed awareness of metaphysical universe. This propensity is thwarted by the inherited PRJW detriments, where the R and the J factors are so deeply immersed in deception. The human's local problem-solving proficiency is perpetually exacerbated by that punitory stranglehold. When punishment was invented, revenge became a side effect that rationalized joining forces among familiar ties that believed in the power of their god of choice, which they protected in an alliance that contrived of the holy edifice. It was so that he, their god, could protect them, because humans instinctually identify the male and the female essential to procreation. While the male is the dominant physical strength and the female bears the child, the religion, the justice, the punishment, the reward, the survival of self-other deception became more convoluted over time. It is where the culminating industries supply essential detrimental support of the self-other invalidating delusions. To escape the frustrations of the PRJW perpetual conflicts, chemically derived drugs were factored into the never-ending fiascos that indefinitely conflict with a metaphysical truth that produces the commonwealth of human life support. Such truth requires scientific knowledge of the cell, cells, in the human anatomy, which contain mitochondria for recycling electrons to energize states of well-being as but one wholly WHOLLY relevant contribution to the commonwealth of human life support. Such knowledge millenniums ago were ignorantly supplanted by the R and the J factors, who built religion cells, CELLS, justice prison cells, devised courts of law for increasing more complicating factors as more contraband fed cases into the system to be processed ad infinitum. The relative mindlessness constitute aspects of the PRJWBCHM with no end in sight. As worst-case scenarios reach those points of no return, exploding, annihilating, climatically escalating, sweeping it away, only to resume again from a modified version of the irrational reenacting scenarios. See Best Documentary, Baby Boss, Italy's New Face of Terror. Presently, our 21st century humanity has become aware of two matrices, two contextual parameters. One is the precedent-setting history of the human condition identified by the acronym PRJWBCHM: politics, religion, justice, war, belief, complex hierarchical matrix, and the other acronym UIVMOFCH: universe, isotropic, vector matrix, operational field, cosmic hierarchy, is the anticipatory design science matrix we are becoming aware of. Which matrix does the informed synergetic mind's metaphysical intellect? As a function of omnirationally forming a more perfect union, will it be, according to aspects and expectations from human populations everywhere in the world? A list of grievances as detrimental values can be referred to by informed humanity's consciously deliberating, decisive contemplation pertaining to what is recognized to be more relevant to omnirational values, and perhaps for the first time learning of the metaphysical truth that produces the commonwealth of human life support for all future generations. Until next time, thank you from Christina, Universe Citizen.